Welcome, everybody. My name is Mike.ament, and I'd like to welcome you to our presentation, um, SharePoint for HR, or as we like to say, from hire to retire. We're going to go through the SharePoint platform and discuss how Lanteria provides additional functionality and enhances that platform for your HR system. Let's begin. Before we begin, let's look a little bit of housekeeping. First off, there is a chat panel, and during the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to enter them in the chat. And then at the end of the presentation, I'd be happy to answer all the questions that you have. And let's begin. So first, a little bit about Lanteria. We were founded in 2006. We're an international company. We have clients in over 40 countries worldwide. We are the leading developer of HR resource, talent, performance, and learning management software designed specifically for the SharePoint platform. Lanteria is a mature HR solution with best practices already baked into our product, so you get the full benefit day one of our enterprise class solution when you first set the system up. We deliver innovative integrated solutions that include easy to use automated workflows that are designed to boost all of our clients' productivity. So here's the reasons why our HR professionals choose SharePoint and why SharePoint is so efficient for HR. Number one, today's HRIS or HR information solution softwares are not just for HR anymore, but they're really designed for your entire company. SharePoint is a highly collaborative environment, or sometimes called a portal, which delivers or shares information between employees, their managers, as well as enabling self-service and automated processes that can free up valuable time for mission-critical work. Number two, SharePoint has tons of storage. With this pre-built document management repository, SharePoint is a great place to store and share your company policies, procedures, employee documents, and almost any other company content. Number three, personalization. It's extremely important to deliver content to the right people in the organization. Our role-based system allows employees and their managers or your HR team to access and can also restrict information from unauthorized users. SharePoint provides the best of both security and personalization. Number four, customizations. Each company is unique with their own specific goals. Many systems force you to kind of align your goals with their pre-built design, but with SharePoint and Lanteria, you can customize the system to align exactly with your business workflows. Number five, we're highly integrated with Microsoft Office, actually the entire Microsoft infrastructure, but it's a great benefit when your HR solution can be integrated with your business tools. Now imagine all your employee interviews, absences, vacation schedules, training classes, automatically being populated to your company calendar, or each employee's individual Outlook calendar shared so everybody can work together efficiently. Number six, security. Security is absolutely critical for a sense of HR data. You can create permissions based on your employee's role, group, or position within your organizational structure, and SharePoint gives you a very granular system of security. And number seven, portal access anywhere. With SharePoint, you have HR portal access to any place on any device, your desktop, laptop, or tablet. We built our HR solution on SharePoint platform to take advantage of its ability for client customizations and, of course, scalability. So let's talk about our solution itself. It's based on modules, and each module can be implemented individually, allowing you to kind of customize your HR experience. First module is a core HR, which is really our human resource database. Allows you to manage your company's entire organization by defining and managing relationships between departments, teams, and employees. Time and attendance allows you to easily manage your company's absence policies, track employee leave, and register time spent on projects and activities. Compensation and benefits is a management system for tracking and analyzing compensation for all employees throughout the entire organization. Recruiting is the human resource solution that allows you to automate the entire recruitment process to ensure that you hire and properly onboard only the best candidates. The performance module helps you streamline your employee performance and appraisal process, making it quicker and easier to track, quantify, and rate productivity for each employee. Learning management automates your learning and employee assessment process by planning, delivering, and measuring the results for your targeted training programs. And of course, career and succession module helps you to identify, develop top talent in your organization, increasing retention, promoting your best, and ensuring a solid succession plan for the future. So that's just a quick high-level overview of the different modules. I think it's time to kind of jump into the solution and let you take a look at what Lanteria looks like. So here's our main dashboard. This is what you see when you first log into the solution. As I said earlier, it's a role-based system. There are multiple roles. You can create different roles in the system depending upon what permissions you want, but based on most companies, they'll set up an HR admin role. They'll set up a manager who can see only their own employees, and of course, an employee role that will allow you just to see your own data, making it a very efficient self-service portal. As the HR admin, we give you valuable dashboards which provide oversight and business intelligence information which you can utilize. These dashboards are coming from our reporting engine, and we can change the dashboards to provide specific information that meets your needs. We do a lot of linking, and on this dashboard I can see here that there's some absences today, some upcoming, and some pending approval. There is an automated system that allows employees to register an absence. The manager then gets notified of this and then can approve or request a modification based on job loading or absence policies or however they want to manage that. But it does give them the ability to see what's happening. I can see here there's some missing documents. There's a help desk request here, and there are 62 people who are requesting permission to take a learning course. So I'll show you how these work in a little bit. But this gives you essentially high-level overview and activities on your dashboard where you can take action. You're no longer using sticky notes or emails or phone calls to manage all this stuff. You actually see what you need to do very easily on a dashboard and provide you direct access to information. If I was to switch to, say, a managerial role, you'll notice the dashboard is going to change, and I'm going to lose some settings over here. And now it's really focusing on team performance, team attendance, team details, team learning, team recruiting, and things like that. So the manager can only see and work with their own employees' information. And at the employee level, we go down one more level, and now you're working with specific my details. So I can see my information, my performance. Now the employee, because this becomes a self-service portal for the employee to work on their details, manage documents, work on their absences and timesheets, manage performance reviews. We can provide access to job openings within the company, show them calendars, things like this can be shared, making this a really great collaborative portal for the employees to find information on their own and provide great self-service. Now, as far as the modules go, I'm not going to go into each module in great detail, but in the core HR, we have an employee database. We can create an org structure, set up jobs and positions. This is where we manage the approval request process. This is an automated process. When an employee makes a request, this could be a performance review, a recruiting request, a learning request, any kind of request in the system. The manager is notified. They have the ability to open that request up. And then based on the request type, they can put in comments. They can send the request back to the employee for additional information, or they can approve it directly from the system. Everything is time and date stamped so that when an employee makes a request, the manager receives it, the manager approves it. We all have records of what's happening there. It's a very efficient system. Same thing for workflows. SharePoint has a very robust workflow system that allows you to create activities that are automated. We give you a few to begin with: onboarding, offboarding, probation reviews, but the real power of the system comes to play when we are taking a look at automating activities. So if I take a look at our process templates, there is no programming required. This is a business tool. We have a number of different templates available. budget reviews, suspensions, event planning. I mean, you can pretty much do this for any kind of activity that has steps in it. Here is my new hire checklist that I play with during my demos. And in here you can see there's a number of steps. So this one happens to be an auto start when a new employee is hired, and it's a workflow. So Lanteria will automatically begin assigning these steps. This first step is going to a working group. Then the HR is responsible for health certification. The employee has to provide a driver's license. The manager will then be responsible for communications, and this goes on in an automated fashion. You don't have to watch or manage this. It happens automatically. If I want to make a change, I can go in here and let's say I want to modify this. It's just a matter of clicking a button, and I can change the title, change the order. Maybe I want this to start in 5 days. I'm asking them to fill out a form, but I can also do other things such as assign a task, send a notification, have them upload a form or upload a document. And then, of course, based on the forms of the actions, the fields will show up automatically. And maybe I want to reassign this to the employee's manager. Hit save. And that's really all it takes to make a modification to a template. Now, once the templates are running, as an HR admin, you can see all the templates that are currently in place. You can dive into any one of them by hitting a link, and you can see what steps are completed, what steps need to be completed, and if you need to, you can step in and actually do this task for them to move this process on, or send them a notification telling them they still owe you a couple of forms here. So instead of managing all the steps for all your employees, what you're doing is you're managing exceptions at this point, freeing up a lot of valuable time for other activities, letting the automation system do its job for you. Very powerful tool built in here. We also provide you information about all the employees. And we can search employees if I want to find information. Maybe I want to find information on Megan. I can start typing Megan's name, and it will actually go out and find Megan in the database for me. And there's Megan's card. I can also look at information by job role, alphabetically, by org unit, or I can pull up the standard employee chart, which allows me to view all the employees. I can see the hierarchy, who reports to who, and I can drill down into any one of these charts to pull up specific details. Now, the nice thing about this chart is all the information is located in one specific place. You don't have to search or hunt throughout a system for information. Each of the modules are represented. If I want to see compensation information, I can see it here. Performance details, right here. Learning information, right over here. Or even enhanced details. Maybe I want to find out what company assets Megan has, or whether she has a certain set of skills, or maybe we want to add a dependent. Everything you'd expect in the HR system is right here. And all these details are coming from the SharePoint database, which allow you to actually access the database, make modifications. Every company has different data collection requirements. And here, you can actually modify these within the system and create your own types of forms and data collection information that you need. So it's a very highly customizable system, allowing you to kind of tweak Lanteria to meet your specific company needs. Our time and attendance module allows you to create out-of-office calendars, create absence plans based on how your employees are going to be administered. Some companies do absence plans by country, by job role, by exempt, non-exempt, union, non-union. You can create as many different types of absence plans as you like, and then administer them to the employees separately. It runs a lot of absence reports, absence lists, and timesheets. I'll show you more about the time and attendance when I switch over to the employee view in a few minutes. This is more of an admin setup kind of thing. Compensation is a very powerful reporting engine that allows you to create salary sheets, do salary reviews, sort of like a shared spreadsheet amongst all your managers, collect bonus information. It does talk to our performance review module. So if you achieve a certain level of performance, it will send the information over to the bonus module and make it easy for you to review bonus assignments. We can also manage employee benefits, which allow you to see which employees are consuming what benefits, how much the company is paying, how much the employee is paying. And of course, we can do ranges and grades analysis within the system, so allowing you to set up that standard chart that everybody uses, midpoint, above the midpoint, below the midpoint. We can set up the salary ranges and the grades, provide the view, and let's grab a full chart here to kind of see what it looks like. So here we can see the individual jobs and they see where they're falling within the specific areas for midpoint analysis. So it allows you to do a lot of compensation, mainly a lot of reporting and analysis built in this module itself. Our recruiting module is really a full-on applicant tracking and management system. We can track specific job openings. There's a candidate database that shows me all of the candidates and what jobs they're applying for. Um, I can see any notes that are assigned by the recruiters. I can also do some summary scoring. During the intake process, I can ask questions. I can score them. I can do some stack ranking and see that Bruce has a higher score than Mike. Maybe we want to start interviewing Bruce first. I can attach any kind of files, resumes, recommendation letters, references can go here, and I can schedule interviews directly out of the system. So in scheduling an interview, I can pull up an interview calendar. It integrates with your Microsoft Outlook, so I can see if an interviewer is free on Thursday at 2 o'clock, schedule the interview, and do it all from within this application itself. If you end up getting a lot of applicants coming through your organization, we do a lot of batch processing, so I can highlight a number of people, and I can send things out, like I can generate letters, like maybe you got 100 resumes today and you want to send out a letter to everybody. It's a push of a button. Generate a letter, select the right template. Thanks for your interest in our company. We're going to review your resume and get back to you shortly. I can also do things with shortlisting. I can manage interviews in groups. I can hire directly from the system, and I can generate job offers. So really everything you need to do to recruit, process, and hire throughout the system can be maintained within Lanteria itself. Our performance management system is a full-on performance management solution. It allows you to create performance reviews, and we're not talking about just the annual review anymore, but you can do midterm reviews, coaching sessions, check-in, check-ups, things like that. You can set up organizational goals at the company level, at the division level, and again at the employee level. We also manage KPIs, so you can assign metrics to that as well. We set up a full competency map where you can create specific competencies that we're going to assign to specific jobs. We can also do 360 feedbacks, which is the peer review process where the peers can review each other. And we can do such things as peer-to-peer, peer-to-supervisor, peer-to-subordinate, all within one system. The performance review area, we use a lot of templates, so it's very easy to create and manage performance reviews. I can see here, these are the reviews that were currently in process. I can see the active reviews. I can see the reviews that have been completed. I can drill down and look at the specific details of the review rounds once everything is done. And I can also start new review rounds very easily from hitting the green button up here. So maybe this will be a new review. The review type, we can create different types of reviews. Maybe we're going to do a check-in review here. We would put a description, start date, due date for the review round, the period start, the period end date, the template that we want to use for this review. Maybe we want to use a check-in type review process. And we can also create a workflow. So maybe the reviews are going to have a set of steps we want the review process to follow. We can set that up in advance. Then we can push the reviews out to companies or countries or specific locations or org units or even working groups. We can have it calculate bonuses and then hit save, and this review round gets pushed out to the people we select. I'm going to jump over to the employee section in a second to show you how to actually do a review, but this is pretty straightforward. And again, you're able to do all types of review types. So you're not just doing the annual review anymore. Surveys, whatever type of coaching you want, provides additional feedback between management and the employees, and allows for collection of interesting and unique information. The learning module is a full-on applicant learning management system, allowing you to create a catalog of different types of learnings. This learning can take the place of classroom training, e-learning courses. We are SCORM compliant, so any SCORM-related files can be uploaded into the system. If you buy learning, we can upload it directly. If you create learning with, say, Adobe Captivate or other tools, you can certainly create your own learning courses and upload them to the system. We can also store any type of documents, PDFs, videos, Word documents, spreadsheets. We can do web links, any type of outside learning that is web enabled, we can link to it. And of course, we have our own built-in quiz builder here that allows you to create quizzes, administer, and grade them within the system itself. I can set courses up to be added directly to an employee's plan, either by the manager or the employee, or I can set it up that they need to send a request and get authorization before taking a course, as maybe the course will cost money and you want to track costs, training costs, so this is a great way of doing that. We can take the learning catalog and create curricula with that. So in other words, if you want to assign a track to an employee, instead of assigning course 1, course 2, course 3, you can assign the curricula that includes all those courses. So it makes it easy to assign tracks. A lot of our construction companies will assign tracks to carpenters, plumbers, and electricians, and all those courses will go in a certain track for them. We can publish a training schedule that allows you to see, or let your employees see, when trainings are going to be offered. We color code them, and we also manage the courses. So I can see here that this course has 15 seats available. When the course is filled up, the system will automatically put everybody that wants to take the course on a wait list for future courses. So again, a lot of automation built in here as well. Training requests is similar to the automated training system I showed you earlier. So it allows you to request something, the manager can approve it. There's a quiz builder built in here, allowing you to create quizzes. And this year we actually added something new called a question repository. We found a lot of our customers were telling us that they were doing employee intake, where they had 10 employees taking a quiz in a room, and often, I wouldn't say all the time, but often somebody would yell out, "What's the answer to number 4?" And everybody would yell 3. So we had some requests, and we decided to create a question repository. So now you can have a quiz with 10 questions and a repository with maybe 100 selections. So now question number 2 might be different for every employee. So that's kind of like a way to avoid that. And it's an enhancement that we made to the system based on our client feedback. So we do listen to all of our clients, and when we get a number of requests from people saying that this will be a great idea, we tend to agree and add it to our system, and the system keeps getting built with more and more best practices and enhancements throughout the year. We also can manage certificates within the system, allowing you to assign a certificate to an employee. The certificate is then managed by the system. The employee is notified when the certificate is going to be expiring. They can come in and take that course associated with that certificate. If they pass it, the certificate will then be issued again for another period of time. Again, fully automated, allowing you to really just let the employees self-service, and you can run reports on a weekly, monthly, daily basis to see who is up on their certificates, who is not. So if you need to do compliance work, you can run a report and see which people have valid certificates and which ones don't. And again, you're managing exceptions as opposed to chasing people around herding a bunch of cats. Succession module, we essentially allow you to set up career goals, career paths for organizations, talent pools, and we also do succession planning, allowing you to work with your best employees that are most promotable, and having a plan to move them up into key positions within the organization. And finally, we have a reporting engine, which allows you to create reports. We have a lot of canned reports that come with the system out of the box. They're all for time and attendance, core HR, recruiting, performance, learning. Reports allow you to take a look at all different types of information. Here's one on competency analysis. I can sort the reports. If I want to do it by org unit, by job role, by competency group, I can do that, or just generate the report for everybody. And we provide a graphical analysis. So quickly looking at this report, I would say that the sales team in Toronto needs a little bit of tender loving care to improve their competency analysis based on the feedback we're getting right now. So again, that kind of gives you a quick overview of the system, its functionality, and its power. Let me switch over to the employee view real quickly to show you just a couple things. So as an employee, you'll be notified that there is a performance review waiting for you, and you can go into the system. Now I have all the roles turned on because I'm kind of cheating here with my demo. I have everybody working here, but generally you would get one notification saying that there is a review for you to fill in. You'll go ahead and fill that in electronically. The system will go out and find that performance review, bring it down to the network, and drop it into your little bucket here. And here you can see there's different steps in this performance review. There's also a workflow assigned. So after the employee finishes, the manager and then the HR will get that for finalization. Making assessments is really easy. Just hit the assess button. We can do things like drop downs, fill in the blanks, whatever is required for your type of of review. You just go through the different sections, fill out the information, and then when you're done, you hit submit review, and the review will then go on to the next step in the process as well. Same thing for learning. As an employee, you can go in and take a look at your development plan. I can see the courses that were either assigned to you by your manager or that you have assigned. I can peruse the catalog if I want to maybe take another course, and I can organize them by categories, by competencies, by specific job roles. And I can see here that I can take this course as Advanced Web 101 directly, or if I want to take this course First Aid, I would have to send a request to my manager first. So again, a little bit of control for the operations and management of the system. From within here, I can actually launch a course directly from Lanteria. It'll go out and bring down the SharePoint Learning Kit, install that on my screen right here, and then I can go ahead and take the course within the system itself. So I would read the information, hit the next page. I can do my self-check. 1, 2, 3, answer the question. Find out the answer is right. I'm doing great, and then move on to the next section. When I finish this course, it's going to then go ahead and grade me, and then put the grade into my personal grade book. I can also peruse the training schedule and see when trainings are going to be offered, like I showed you earlier. So I can see when a course is being offered. I can register for a course directly here. We color code everything so it's easy to identify your courses. And that covers all the things. I'm going to go back just over the technical stuff for this because I did promise a little bit of technical information on the SharePoint piece. Within the system, it is a very powerful system, but it's designed for business users. So if we take a look at our settings area, you can go into the system, and in our performance review area, we have a performance review designer, which allows you to create performance reviews. You don't have to know anything about SharePoint Designer or any of the technical tools in SharePoint. You just go into a form that you want to work with. It will pull up that form for us. And I can go ahead and review the sections in this form. If I want to make a change to it, I can very easily add a section here. Maybe this will be a new section again. I keep adding new sections to this one. And maybe this one is going to be a competency section. I want the employee and the manager to fill this out. I want this to be 16. I can make that mandatory and put a description in here. Enter your information and hit save, and it will go out and grab that bit and bring it down into the system. And I'll have another new section added here in just a section, just a bit as it goes through its processing, pulling the pieces together and dropping it in here. So there's a new section again I just added. So maintaining these types of things is very easy. It doesn't require a lot of technical expertise. Again, it's a business tool. Same thing for our reporting engine. If there's a report that we didn't think about when we built the system and you want to create one, we have a report wizard that will actually walk you through building a report. You don't need to know anything about SQL joins or SQL database reports or cross-script reporting. Just a matter of putting a title, new report, selecting who's going to be seeing the report, which module we want to report on, hitting next, and then it's going to walk you through building the fields. We'll let you filter it, group it, order it, total it, and preview it, and we'll have a brand new report. Whenever a report runs, it runs real time. So if you want to schedule this to run on a certain period or a certain week, you can do that pretty easily. When you run a report today, it shows you exactly what's happening, and all the reports have the ability to demonstrate or give you graphical feedback as well. So if you're looking at a spreadsheet with hundreds of lines and you want to see graphically what's happening, you can see just at a glance here what's happening in the organization and work with this to address issues within the company itself. We also give you access to the back end of SharePoint, which is kind of unique in software. So here I can go into the site contents, and this is basically all the lists that drive the application. So looks like a lot, but really you just have to know what you want to change. So if I want to go in and change maybe my 360 feedback rounds, I can go into this list here. And now really for the techies, I am now in SharePoint. I can make modifications to this. I can add fields here. I can add additional information. Any changes I make back here will then be replicated in the application. So this system is highly customizable and highly configurable, allowing you to really match these HR tool to your business workflow and not having to buy another system that you have to adapt your workflows to the system. So this kind of fits you as required. We allow you to change the look of this application. It's a web server, so you can change the skins. It's called CSS. Your IT people understand this. You can change this here, or you can change it to your own company colors. You can also remove the Lanteria logo and make this your corporate portal. So really, all this is your corporate portal where employees access HR information. That's just a quick overview of the system. We'll answer questions at the end. I have just a couple more PowerPoint slides, which I'm going to show you just to kind of give you a final overview. So we have a development team of experienced HR and IT professionals, and we've made a lot of the automatic processes within SharePoint seamless and easy to use within the system itself. So it's designed for the business user, but it has the full power. And if you have an IT team that understands SharePoint, you can do a lot with it. If you don't have an IT team that understands SharePoint, we can help you definitely and make the system work for you. We really focus on helping our clients efficiently manage their entire organization on a single unified platform. As far as the technical, we are compatible with any version of SharePoint 2013 and 2016, and that includes SharePoint Foundations. We are integrated with any third-party systems, so we do a lot of interconnection with payroll, with other systems. I know we've integrated with SAP, Oracle, Great Plains, Dynamics, BizPay. We're an ADP approved partner for payroll, so you can integrate Lanteria directly with ADP through their through their own portals, and they have a app exchange where you can go and get an app and drop it in. We have flexible access and permission management, allowing you to kind of tweak the way Lanteria works. Everybody gets a user ID and password, allowing you to tweak their access, their roles, and their permissions in the system. We are integrated with Active Directory and SharePoint user profiles, and of course, we're compatible with the Microsoft ecosystem, including Office. At this point, I'm going to leave the floor open for questions. I'll take a look at the chat area, and we'll go through and answer the questions that are coming in, and I'll answer those for this session. And I think there's a poll here that marketing wanted me to push out, so I'm going to do that now. If you just take a moment to access that poll, we'll get the poll results back and see what's happening. Oh, here's some questions coming in. So first question is about SharePoint Foundations. Okay, what is that? Microsoft offers 3 versions of SharePoint. They have Foundations, they have Standard, and they have Enterprise. Each version has a number of different features and allows you to do additional functions. Okay, yes, so we're back online, so I do apologize for that. So we were talking about, I believe we're talking about the last question we had was SharePoint Foundations. So we support all versions. Foundations is the first version of SharePoint. There is Standard, and there is Enterprise. Each version has additional functionalities. We work with all versions of SharePoint, so depending on what your specific requirements are, then you just pick the right SharePoint for your organization that makes sense for you. Okay, here's another question coming in. Let's see what this one is. Okay, can Lanteria integrate with Active Directory? The answer is yes. So we are fully capable of interfacing with Active Directory, allowing you to link Lanteria up with your AD, so as they call it, allowing information to flow from either one. And we also have the ability to synchronize them as well. So we can import data, we can sync, and allowing you to use the power of SharePoint effectively that way. Here's another question. Are you compatible with Office 365? And the answer is yes. So Office 365 is a Microsoft product. We can set up Lanteria to sync with that, allowing your employees access to single sign-on. They would log into the system, and they would have access to both Office 365 and Lanteria. It'd be a seamless integration. Okay. Do I have to buy an entire, here's another question, do I have to buy the entire system or can I buy the individual modules? And the answer is yes. So all of the modules are freestanding. So if you wanted to buy just say the learning management or the performance management piece, you can do that as standalone systems. The core HR, time and attendance and recruiting do work with each other. So they're not independent of each other, but they can be purchased individually. So core and recruiting, core and time and attendance, you can kind of mix and match and build the system that kind of makes sense for you. You don't have to pay for things you don't need if you already have a time and attendance system. It's not required within our system itself. Okay, here's another question. How long does it take to set up Lanteria? Okay, so this ranges based on your company's size, how many modules you're buying, and where you are in your maturity model regarding organizational charts, workflows, processes, things like that. I normally tell people if we did all the modules, it's about a 2 to 3 month elapsed time process, although I've seen companies do it in less, and I've seen companies do it in more, but the average is about 2 to 3 months. If you're doing a single module, it's about 3 to 6 weeks from start to finish itself. Okay, let's see if there's more questions here. Okay, here's a question on personally identifiable information. Okay, so in the system itself, only people who have access to the system can see data. So in other words, at the employee level, you can see only your own information. At the manager level, you can see only your direct reports. And at the HR admin level, you do have access to the entire system. We do create additional roles in the system. Maybe you want a limited role for maybe a vice president or maybe an admin who is responsible for maybe a group, but you don't want them to show information from other groups. You can restrict those. And we can also put individual restrictions on the system itself to mitigate data exposure within the system. Okay. Another question here. Okay, is Lanteria a farm solution? Lanteria is a site collection which is installed on SharePoint. So for the technical people out there, we're just basically taking an application, installing it into the SharePoint instance. Okay, here's a question on PeopleSoft. Okay, again, we can integrate with third-party applications. Essentially, what we do is we take a look at what data you want to share with the other information, with the other systems, how we're going to share that data, and what type of either error reporting or data confirmations you want, and then we essentially will create a integration for you to that specific instance with your data taken in there. Okay, here's another one here. Yeah, here's a costing. So this is a good question. So Lanteria is priced based on the number of employees that have access, in other words, the number of user IDs and passwords, and the number of modules that you are deploying. So if you're deploying one module for a certain number of employees, it'll be the module cost for the license and the number of employee licenses for that specific module. If you're deploying all the modules, then there'll be the module cost for those licenses and the number of employees in the system itself. Okay, good. These are great questions. Okay, can we get a copy of the slides? Yes, I believe at the end of the presentation, we're actually going to record. I actually recorded this, so we can actually do post a recording for you. I think it'll be up on our YouTube section under our Lanteria channel, and we can also make copies of the slides available as well. Here's my contact information. Just send me an email at mike.ament@lanteria.net, and I will send you a copy of these slides. Okay, so here's a question on what size firms use Lanteria, and that's a great question. We have customers of all sizes. We start off with a small business package, going all the way up to a large corporate enterprise solutions. So I think if you look at our website, you'll see some customers like Warner Brothers, Lockheed Martin, very large companies. We also have, relatively mid-size and smaller companies. So again, it can be configured to meet your specific requirements. So as we say, size doesn't matter. We will configure Lanteria around your specific requirements and provide you with a solution that meets your HR needs. Okay, does the learning module allow for post-class surveys to be sent out? And the answer is yes. At the end of the course, we can send out a survey requesting feedback on the course. That's a great question. It's already built in. And the 360 feedbacks, can data be customized? And the answer is yes. Every form in the system's a template. We allow you the ability to create your own specific templates, and your own questions can be customized in there. And of course, time and attendance biometrics, that's another great question as well. The answer is yes, we can integrate with all types of biometrics, card scanners, swipes, retinal scanners, whatever you're using right now. The only requirement that we have is that the scanner must deposit its data in a local database where SharePoint can read it. So that's the only requirement that we have with that. And most of the biometrics have open APIs which allow us to communicate with them. So if you ask your IT department, where is your biometrics data stored, and does the company offer an open API, we can then communicate with that device and provide feedback and collect the data, process it, and manage it. Okay, I think that's about all the new questions coming in. I'll keep this open for another minute or two. If there's any more questions, feel free to get them in. And I do appreciate your time and enjoyed presenting to you. Again, if you have any questions, my phone number, my contact information is on the screen. Feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to provide any additional information about Lanteria or assist you with your evaluation of the product itself.